Central square of Plateliai, small town in Lithuania, a resort area, beautiful lakes. On the central square once was a market, today it's just a square. Here is a small memorial in honor of independence of Lithuania, the War of Independence, which started in 1918 and lasted for about 2 years. Next to the memorial there is a big oak tree which was planted here in 1930. So this year it celebrates 90 years. Big impressive oak tree. Oak trees, by the way, are very honored in Lithuania. They are one of the symbols of the nation, and there is a popular name for men, ąžuolas. Maybe not very popular, but some people still name their kids ąžuolas, which means strong and symbolizes long life. Plateliai was a place where a lot of Jews lived, and Jews called this place Plotl. Yeah? There was a period when Jews were more than, as I like to say, in many places they were more than half of the population of the town. It was a period when the Russians prohibited settlement in the rural areas for the Jewish community. It was in the 19th century, and suddenly we have a lot of Jews in towns. So it's artificially changed demographics of Lithuania. The column with Saint Florian, the patron of firefighters, yeah, we can see such statues in many small places, because fires was one of the most common local disasters. No earthquakes here, no floods, as we are very far from the sea, but there were a lot of fires.
We are on one of the streets of Plotl, or Plateliai, and here is a memorial stone, and there is an inscription saying that at this same place, this place, was standing the Jewish synagogue that was built at the end of the 18th century, and it stood here till coming the Nazis in 1941. And it was wooden, and it was destroyed, or it was burned, but thanks to the initiative of Eugenius Bunka and fund of Yaacov Bunka, this memorial stone was put here, and we can say that the memory of the Jewish community of Plotl and the synagogue still exists. We visit Eugenius Bunka, son of Yaacov Bunka, at his house in a little town of Zemaitija, Plateliai. We speak about his father, the last Jew in the city of Plunga, about his work as a sculptor and woodcarver, about the fund that Yaakov established to commemorate the Jews of Plunga.
After the war, in which my father fought against the Nazis as a soldier in the Lithuanian division of the Red Army, he returned to his hometown Plunga and worked as a carpenter. Later on, he was a manager of the workshop of wood carving. Among many articles, they would make small wooden sculptures, a kind of souvenirs. Every year they used to organize a summer camp where every sculptor would carve some woodwork.
Something similar was in Jotkrante, in Neringa.
In Neringa it was already on the national scale, and here it was more local. The works they carved would be left on the spot.
Were these statues of a large size, like pillars?
Yes, we can say they were monumental. This art is very popular in Lithuania. Seems this tradition dates to the times when Lithuanians still were pagans. At one of the summer camps, my father was asked to create a large oak statue for the massacre site of the town of Salant, where the local Jews were shot during the war. Later, in the communist period, the victims were called Soviet citizens. This was my father's first large sculpture at the memorial site of Zemaitija, the ethnographic area of northern Lithuania. It was made in the mid-70s, and it still stands there. But time wears down the wood, and we are going to restore it this year.
And what about the sculptures in the Kaushenai forest near Plunga? That made the first of them in 86, right?
Yes, in the mid-80s. At first he carved them in his garden. Later, when I settled here in Plateliai, he worked here at my stead. He carved Moses from Plotl in memory of the Jews of this town.
I remember your father told me that in 1986, even the Soviet soldiers helped him to bring to the place and to erect one of his large statues in Koshery Forest.
Yes, it was really so. Since it was impossible to bring a crane to the forest, Dad, as a war veteran, appealed to the military personnel and they sent soldiers to help to erect the statue. And it stands up to this day.
Yes, we saw it yesterday when we were there. Last time when I was there, the statue of a mother protecting her children was already almost falling. And today, probably thanks to your efforts, it stands up straight.
We have made this together with my grandson, that is Yaacov Bunka's great-grandson.
When I visited your father for the first time and got acquainted with him, the great Synagogue of Plunge was still standing, and he showed it to me and told me.
After all, he ran a small museum there.
Yes, he showed me and was proud of what he did. And today, the synagogue is gone. We with Daniel thought about it yesterday. How is it that you agreed to vacate the synagogue? Schulhof, the whole place.
This is a hard issue. There were several considerations. It is impossible to tell you now about all the efforts and all the struggle for the synagogue. In the Soviet times, they changed the structure completely. Even from the outside, it didn't look like a synagogue. There was a bakery, a culture hall, shops, a flax warehouse, and finally a sports hall. Towards the year 2000, everything deteriorated and looked terrible. Actually, in the middle of the city there were ruins. We had to pay fines not to preserving the place. 9 years of trial have been unsuccessful. On the other hand, we could get good money for the plot of land in the central part of town. Of course, not for the building. Since Dad was the last Jew in Plunge, he decided that it would be better to use this money to commemorate the Jews who lived here, to mark Jewish sites, to arrange exhibitions about the Jewish life of the area, and to use it for the Wall of Remembrance in the Koshery Forest, the Holocaust site. From this money and some donations from abroad, my father also established the Yaacov Bunka Foundation, whose activities are not limited to the city of Plunge but extend to all of Zemaitija.
We are standing at the site of the execution of the Jews of Plotl. One can see here a list of the Jewish residents of the village from before the war of the year 1939. 95% of the list were shot dead on this same place. Only a few people of this list managed to escape. Thanks to them, we know the names of all the Jews in the shtetl. And this monument was erected in memory of the local victims with the inscription in Yiddish and in Lithuania. Da ist vergossen der Blut von 80 Jiden, Kinder, Frauen und Männer, welche haben die Nazi-Rotzim und ihre Mithelfer grausam ermordet dem Juli 1941. And below, one more sentence. Kein Mal nicht vergessen. Never forget.
Penkta ar šešta vieta.
This is one of the projects of Yaacov Bunka Foundation, the Memorial Garden of Litvaks. The shrubs are planted according to the borders of Lithuania, and inside are growing in the watermarks apple trees made of metal. So, Eugenius, we enter Lithuania from the south. Please tell us how this idea came to your head.
I even don't know what to say. Just the idea is to commemorate the Jewish communities of Lithuania. Apple trees are planted in the locations of the Jewish communities in Lithuania, and the apples symbolize families in these communities.
The idea is wonderful and very meaningful. Oh, I see here Moshe Glauberson from Vilnius.
He is the one who planted the tree. I mean, he paid. I ordered an iron tree from a blacksmith, and then we with my grandchildren painted and planted it in the appropriate place of Lithuania. This tree is already the 55th.
Can we get closer to the granite pillars?
Yes, of course. They are placed on the map of Lithuania where the world-famous Litvaks were born. There are memorial stones in honor of Berek Yoselevich, commander of the Jewish battalion in Napoleon's army, or Herman Kallenbach, an architect and fighter for human rights in South Africa, a friend of Mahatma Gandhi. And here is a memorial stone in honor of David Wolfson.
The well-known Zionist leader?
Yes, he was born in a little town Darbėnai, not far from here.
But there are a lot of famous Jews from Lithuania.
Definitely. If our foundation had enough money, we would have planted all the trees ourselves and erect all the memorial stones. But unfortunately, we do not have the money, so we offer Litvaks from all over the world to plant trees in memory of their ancestors in Lithuania.
Oh, then you would need a much larger plot of land than this one.